Welcome back to the G&P Trucking channel, where you'll find how-to videos and everything G&P. But I'm Jim Davis, your media director. Trip planning has always been a part of a trucker's day. In the past, road atlas, maps, written directions, and payphones were some of the tools that a driver used. Today, truckers have smartphones, OmniTracks, and GPS. And that's what I'm going to be talking to you today is about GPS. But not just any GPS, a trucker's GPS, which there are a few differences. When choosing a GPS, you'll have a lot of options. The two most common names in trucker GPS are Rand McNally and the Garmin Diesel. I personally have the Rand McNally Overdrive 7 Pro, and that's what I'm going to be showing you in this video. But the basic operations and features I'm going to be showing you, even GPS from years past should have these same options. This particular Rand McNally has a lot of different features. It can connect with your phone. It has cameras on both sides. We're not going to go over all of that. We're just going to go to the truck GPS, which this is the main map screen. First thing I want to show you is the map view. Up here in the top right hand corner where the N is, that's our compass. But if you toggle this, it goes through the different views. The 3D view is the one that I like the best. The settings are in the bottom right hand corner, where on mine it's a gear. But if you've got an older Rand McNally that has a classic look, it'll have this Windows tic-tac-toe looking icon. Both accomplish the same thing. I'm going to change mine back to the modern. But if you go to settings, there's three different main categories: general settings, route, and map. One that you do want to have turned on is truck point of interest icons. Turn that on. That will show you your cat scales, your truck stops on your map as you're passing by them. Comes in pretty handy. Route settings, this is something you want to take the time to set up appropriately, where, you know, freeways, ferries, tunnels, U-turns, dirt roads. You can customize your GPS to take you on the routes that you would like to go. Okay, if you want to know how to get the truck icon, you'll go to map, where it has truck icon, and you can actually make it an arrow, a bus, a car, off-road vehicle, a racing shell, a space shuttle, and you can change the color of your truck. Pretty cool. Continuing on along, you have your time right here, but if you tap it, it will tell you the elevation you're at. Toggles back and forth. Moving on around here, it says we're in Greer, South Carolina, but if you toggle between it, it'll tell you the highway and then the cross street as well. Now, to use the GPS as a GPS, there's a few ways that you can do it. But like guided search, you know, we can go to new location, and you can either put in the address, a city center, or an intersection. Everybody knows how to do that. But one of my favorites is the address book. Places like BMW, SEVA, the Daytona 500 that I've been to multiple times, I will save it in my address book, and it puts it in alphabetical order. One thing I would recommend for all G&P drivers is go ahead and save all of our terminals and drop yards in your address book. I've also got all the Lowe's DCs that we go to regularly saved in my address book, so when it's time to put a new address in, all I do is tap it, do compare routes, so I can get a quick understanding of the route that I'm going to be taking. Most of the time it's a green route, but it does a comparison there. You pick the one you want, get on the road. If you're not familiar with the route you're going to be taking, if you hit this icon here right beside the compass, this gives you each turn and how far you'll be on each road for your entire trip. Good thing to glance at before you start your trip. Once you have a route put in, you can check what's along your route, such as way stations. Hit wait and border, boom, it tells you there's going to be 2 along the way. But, well, actually I'm only going to be passing 1, because 1 is in the northbound and 1 is in the southbound. If I wanted to check rest areas, if I got a break coming up, it tells you all the rest areas and how far you are away from them. Same thing for truck stops, cat scales. Quick little tip. Let's say, for instance, we wanted to fuel up at this Love's here that's 43 miles away. Now, if I hit navigate, it's going to replace my other destination with this. But if you hit add VIA, add to start, it's going to route us there as a stop. So now it's got the Loves, which is 48 miles away. But if you change your mind, you don't want to stop there, you can just hit skip to next stop, and it recalculates and it's back to our original. Hope that helps, drivers. If you have any questions, please just leave it in the comments below, or feel free to send me an email. When putting in a new address, first comes city and state, then road name, then road number. Occasionally when you get to the road name, say if it's a state highway, you may not find that coming up as you begin to type it in. If that's the case, try putting either US or the state abbreviation such as NC, SC, KY before highway, and more than likely it's going to show up as an option then. Other times you won't be able to find the address. If you can't get the address to go in, quick little tip is use your smartphone, either Google Maps or Apple Maps, and put that address in. Sometimes the city will be different than what you sent just because they're right on the border of a city. If that's the case, just take that new city from your phone, pop it in the GPS, and it should direct you there. A trucker GPS can be a great tool to have in your arsenal, but that's what it is, drivers, a tool. Do not use it as a crutch. You still need to know where you're going instead of just following the GPS. You don't want to be like the driver up in New Jersey that ended up on the boardwalk with his 18-wheeler, and his reason was the GPS told me to go there. I'm not saying you need to use a road atlas for every trip, but at the very minimum, know where you're going and know the roads you're going to be going to get there. But in your settings, you can have your GPS where it'll avoid toll roads, or it'll avoid low bridge areas or low clearance areas, or no truck routes, because all of those are areas you don't want to take your truck in. And you definitely don't want to be the driver that gets stuck under a 13-foot bridge. Before we end this video, I'm going to share one last tip with you, drivers. The address that we are normally given and where the GPS will take you to is generally the main entrance or the mailbox, which is not always the truck entrance. What you're going to have to do as you start getting within a mile is pay attention and be looking for the address signs of where you're going to, and be looking for the truck entrance. Once you find that truck entrance or that address that your GPS wouldn't take you to originally and you had to use a cross street to get there, you can save your current location. The way you do this is in the bottom left hand corner, you'll see save current location. You just tap that. It has the address of where you're at now. If you want to use that, which you probably don't, you can just hit this clear, and then you can name it whatever you like. Knowing how to save your current location and saving it in your address book is a very helpful hint, especially for brand new customers that address hasn't made it to the updates in GPS yet. But if you know how to use the save your current location, as long as you can get there the first time, you're golden thereafter. And you can also enter the latitude and longitude settings if you ever have to deliver to a secret base out in the desert or anything like that. As far as buying your GPS, well, of course you can find them in any truck stop. You're generally going to pay the most at truck stops. Sometimes the older versions may have a rebate with them. I would encourage you to check online, Amazon, eBay. There's also a lot of used and refurbished GPSs that can save you hundreds of dollars versus what you would buy in a truck stop. My first 7-inch GPS I bought was a refurbished off eBay. I paid $130 for it. This new one that I have, which is a tablet, and I can take it on and off, and it has a lot more features, satellite radio, internet connectivity, all that. This is about a $500 GPS. Most of the features on this I don't even use. So your basic GPSs should work just fine. Just occasionally you'll need to update them because roads and highways, exits, things like that change over time. But once again, do not use a GPS as a crutch. It does not replace proper trip planning. Know where you're going and how you're going to get there. But drivers, thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.